Picture Africa. See the poverty, see the disease and the destitution, and now look closer and see the children that are affected by these circumstances. Don't look away, but see the orphans in Africa. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use the hero that's inside of you to not only change, but save the life of a child at risk in Africa. War, poverty, AIDS, and disease are some of the major contributing factors to the African orphan crisis. UNAIDS and UNICEF report that there's over 53 million orphans just in Africa. That's 12% of their total child population. The numbers don't lie. There is definite need there. In my research, I found that many of these orphans end up living on the streets or with relatives or in child-headed homes. Because resources are already limited, when relatives are willing to take in the orphans, it's not always a great situation. In an article by Demographic Research, they talk about Hamilton's rule. This is a proven phenomenon that demonstrates how behavior towards an individual is actually based on the genetic closeness or relatedness to the person. African children that are taken in by relatives are many times have to go out and work for their food or even beg for it. They're treated with harsher punishments and a lot more work than the biological children. Many times, the orphans are treated as servants, not as part of the family, as is found in research done by Boston University. I've heard arguments from people who haven't wanted to invest in the Uganda orphans crisis, or in the African orphan crisis, because they feel that these children aren't true orphans when they have one parent still living or even extended family still living. I've wondered the same things, and maybe you felt the same way. So I'd like to share with you a few true stories of children that are currently living in Uganda. You'll see that the stories range from both parents being deceased to both parents living. And I'm going to let you decide if you think that these children are desperate or in need. Vina lived with her mother and never knew her father. She has two brothers. Her mom went to the hospital one day and just never returned. People from the village even went to check and they couldn't find her. Never to come back. The children were just abandoned. James's mom was mentally unstable and would wander from place to place and sometimes not coming back for days, but finally she just never came back. And so the four children were left to take care of themselves. Gloria said that rebels came into their village and started killing people. So her family escaped by boat, but her little brother fell overboard and drowned. Then the family was hiding out in some tall grass, and they were sleeping for the night when the rebels came back and ended up burning down a house that was literally right next to where the family was laying. All the people in the house died. Gloria's mother got shot by the rebels, and she went and lived with her grandmother, but there was no money for food, no money for school, and they were just suffering greatly. These are only a few of the stories of the 53 million orphans in Africa. And as you can see, they truly are children at risk, or as the UN labels them, orphaned and vulnerable children. Vina, James, and Gloria were saved, though, by people who saw a need and did something about it. People who saw that all it took was a small sacrifice in order to actually save a life. Have you ever wanted to save someone's life? Have you wanted to be that hero? Well, I believe that there's a hero inside all of us just waiting to get out. So how do we do this? How do we save the lives of these children? Well, I think it starts with finding a reputable organization. Because how do you know who to trust? If you know people who are already giving to or working with charity organizations, talk to them. See what they have to say. You can also go online, check out websites. See if the organization posts where their finances go. There's also nonprofit watchdog websites like charitynavigator.org. Even the government uses them. If your organization isn't rated, they'll give you step-by-step information on how to find their 990 form and evaluate them for yourself. Besides deciding on an organization, you also need to decide what to do to help. There's adoption, mission work. A lot of people do sponsorships. That's when you send in monthly donations that will provide for a child's basic needs for an entire month. All it takes is $20 to $30, and this will take care of it. So imagine this. or basically look at it like this. You can buy 1 to 2 lattes a week or save the life of a child for a month. There's also projects that you can do fundraising for. I've seen the impact of Uganda Orphans Fund and Be a Hero, who are organizations that connect people like us with the actual children in need. They build children's homes, medical facilities, they do agricultural projects, and so much more. Our church ended up raising money for a children's home and got to see it firsthand when some people went there and saw what our investment did to impact the children and the community. Here's some creative ideas. One school, an elementary school, found out about the orphan situation. They were so moved with compassion that they did fundraising. They raised $4,000 that ended up paying for a whole herd of goats, a cow for milk, and even the fencing for them. These were just from young kids. There's also a family who ended up contacting all of their extended family and proposed doing an alternative Christmas one for the orphans one year. They ended up giving all the money that they normally would have given or used for presents, and it ended up funding an entire orphanage. We put off the purchase of a video game system, and with that money, we were able to sponsor a child for an entire year. So just be creative and use what you know. You already have what it takes to be a hero. All it takes is a small sacrifice that goes a long way. Remember Vina, James, and Gloria? Well, now they're living at the Persuasive village, which was established by the Uganda Orphans Fund through donations and sponsorships from people like us. Now they're being fed, sheltered, clothed, and loved. They get medical care and are protected. They have a hope for their future and even dream of being teachers, pastors, and musicians. They have a passion to see other children at risk saved because they know what they're going through. You can see that the need is there, and so are the solutions. This is a call for heroes. It's our chance to be more. It's our chance to give life and hope. Join with me today to help these children in whatever way you can and in whatever way that you can dream. The orphans of Africa need us. Children like Vina, James, and Gloria are just waiting and desperately praying for things that we can help them with. Don't miss this chance to be a hero. Become a child sponsor today, and let's also partner together to complete a project that will impact a community for a lifetime.